And those little comics make it into little zines like this. They come out, looking like that. And I store all the originals in these little Profolio books like that. So that's my 6x9 format. Not the smallest that I use, but almost. And I actually have some formats that are sort of offshoots of that where I use the same size paper, but I might do a different page size on that paper. So sometimes I'll draw a little template, cut a little template so that I can do that. So I've got a bunch of projects in flight that use various different sizes. So my comics objects, which I'll talk about another time, often use little things like this. I did a comic shaped like a cassette tape, one shaped like a pack of cigarettes, one shaped like a Rubik's Cube, and I actually have Attempted Not Known number 12, a secret project in process, right now. So that one actually is, all the drawing is done, so it's in one of these. All right. And I have this one. This is my 6x9 paper. Kind of a similar deal. Fits in a backpack. Bigger for sort of more long-form diary comics. And the one that is I kind of finished and now I'm adding to about pizza was all done in this format. It's harder to find the right size storage binders for 6x9, but I found actually that you can use it's these binders that they use for theatrical playbills. So if you're a big theater fan, you might already have this in your house, and if not, you may never have heard of it. And then, of course, at the larger end of the scale, I don't do this too much anymore because it's not convenient or easy, but the standard size is to draw a page 10 inches by 15 inches. So what I do now instead, and what I'm doing for my graphic novel in progress, is this is very rough. On these 9 by 12 sheets, I'll do a half of a 10 by 15 page. So it's 10 by a little bit less than 7.5 inches. Which means that I can put two of them together to make one full-size comics page, but it's small enough that I can take it to a cafe and work on it on my portable drawing board. And so there are two projects that I might work on today with you while we hang out. One of them, I'm actually drawing in between the 6x9 size and the 10 by 7.5 size. I'm doing these pages about 7.5 by 10.5, which is 3/4 of a 10 by 15 page. So it's good for sort of a longer form diary comic. It's not super small. It's not as big as the sort of official comic page size, but it's big enough. And yet, I can fit a whole page on one sheet, so not only can I take it to a cafe, but it frees up my layout a little bit, with the main disadvantage, of course, being that drawing small means not getting as much detail, potentially, and mistakes come out bigger, too. So, without further ado, let's get something up on the board. Here's the board. Pretty crazy. All right. What do we have, oops. So I'm going to be mainly doing penciling today, I think. I have a graphic novel in progress here about my time at Facebook. And then I have a new project. I don't even want to tell you what it's about yet. So if I were to work on this, I would be working just on absolutely rough layout. So that'll be less interesting. Let's work on the Facebook one. So can you see this at all? Yes. Okay, fine. The funny thing about this project is that as I go along, I find places where I need to add a page or remove a page. And I also find places where I'm going to need to get up and see what people look like. And sometimes that just involves seeing how I drew them in a past page here. I haven't done a lot of drawing on this recently, so I'm going to need to actually take a look at what I did recently and make sure that what I'm going to do here works with that. So one moment while I go get my stuff. You can still hear me, right? Let's hope you can. All right. Yes. By the way, this is in progress up at my Patreon, www.patreon.com/stymied. And got some pages here that even my patrons haven't seen yet. So that's cool. Good stuff. All right, I have some materials here to keep me honest. And I guess what I could actually do is tighten up this page. Let's see what they talked about last time they were here. I think the cool thing about this Twitch thing is I can record what I want to and use it later, but at the same time you know, I can engage with you directly. And if no one is here at the moment, that is okay. All right. So I got to be honest. This page has been kind of blocking me. This is a setting called the Bench of Doom, and this is me and Pete. And here we are sitting on the Bench of Doom. And the problem with the Bench of Doom, of course, is that it's got all these trees around, and trees are hard to draw. I have trouble with trees. So, actually, if I work on this page, it'll kind of get me out of this slump. I've been procrastinating on moving forward with this particular project because I don't want to draw these trees. And actually what I want to do, let me show you an older one. See, here they are in the Bench of Doom. It's a very similar page actually. It's mostly this one I don't like, but also the whole style. Like, you see how this is like kind of friendly and easy, and these ones are very sort of scratchy. I don't know, maybe there are people who like that better, but I want to get things into this kind of more friendly style. So I wonder if I can lead the way with this page and then go back and redraw the other pages. When I was doing architectural drafting, I would use 4 pieces of tape. But these days I just use 2. Because I don't have this on the board for that long anyway. Alright. So this outline I did with a template that I cut, and it allows me to sort of just get the sense of how big the drawing is on the page. So if I'm out somewhere, I can just whip up a quick page boundary, but it's not very precise. So now we're gonna get it right. Love that. Love that. Always happens. Okay. And the other thing, of course, is getting the center line in the center is tricky. I don't know why. I don't know why it should be tricky, but it is. All right. I had a beautiful drafting table with a big drafting machine on it. A drafting machine is like a big sort of swing arm with, like, you know, it's like an arm and it's bolted down at the top of the table. And no matter which way you move it, it's got this like thing that's at right angles that always stays at whatever angle you set it at. So you can set it at, you know, exactly vertical and horizontal and move it around, so you don't have to do this stuff with the T-square and the triangle and all that stuff. And then a terrible tragedy happened to the drawing table, and this table is not big enough for my beautiful drafting machine. So what you gonna do? Have to get a big table again someday. But this room is too small. Just taking a look here. Chat. Users in chat. Hey, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Alisidra, I believe. Welcome. Did you know that this is my first Twitch stream ever? Actually true. So I don't know when you came in, but this is from my graphic novel in progress about when I worked at Facebook. And this setting is the Bench of Doom. This is me and my coworker. We're both tech writers there. And we go out to the Bench of Doom and talk when something has gone truly wrong, which was a frequent occurrence at this point in the story. So I was just talking about the beautiful drafting table that I used to have. I had to move, and so I decided to sell this drafting table. Well, it was, how did I get it? A guy at work had this drafting table. It was German. It was a $2,000 table, and he's like, I can't use it. And I said, I'll take it. So I took it home. It had never even been assembled. I had to drill holes to screw the top onto the base. And it had this foot pedal to raise the tabletop up and down. And to, tilt it and stuff like that. And the tabletop was very heavy. So inside the pedestal base, there were all these like really powerful springs and stuff to balance against the weight of the tabletop. And I went online and found the instructions, and one of the things they tell you is be really careful. Don't ever touch the pedal if the top is off the table. So I used it for a while. It was awesome. It was so great. So big. So well made. And then I had to move. And so I was going to sell it. And this guy came to look at it. And he was going to take an introductory drafting class. I need to get a new pen. And it kind of quickly became clear that this table was like way more than what he needed, and like way more. Like what he needed was like one of those $100 folding drafting tables that you get at like an art store, and that he kind of didn't know what he was looking at. That he was trying to talk me down to like a crazy cheap price. And gradually I decided maybe instead of selling the table, I should figure out a way to move it. But, the guy wanted to look at it, so I had brought the table out onto my front yard. And of course, to move it, I had taken the top off. And at one point, just standing around, and he was kind of just fidgety, right? And he goes up and he just presses the foot pedal, and you could just hear all the springs and mechanisms inside the base, inside the pedestal, just break. And then it never worked after that. And so I wanted to like figure out a way to get him to pay for it or something, but he, it just, it wasn't going to happen. So I just told him to take it away. I gave it to him for free. But I miss that table almost every time I draw. When I drag. I have to try to remember not to tell that story every single time I stream. If you read about sort of mainstream comics, Marvel, DC, things like that, the process that I think they use is that somebody would kind of write vaguely the direction that the story goes in, and then the penciler would pencil the whole story, and maybe even they ink the whole thing, I don't know, and then they put in all the dialogue after that. And I think the idea is that the story is really, it depends on the action. The action is the most important part. But for my slice of life comics, it's really about the dialogue. So I always make sure that I've got room for the dialogue while I'm doing my page layout. All right, what do I need to do? It's a little harder to talk while I'm figuring out what people are saying. So you might be wondering, why am I already at the point of drawing and still in the middle of writing and rewriting? You know, did I write out a whole script for this thing? No. As I go along, I come up with new ideas, or I realize that something is missing, and this allows me to make changes. I'm trying to make it so that the process of drawing comics can be almost as nimble as like when you're writing a novel or a story or whatever, and you can move paragraphs around and add and delete sections and stuff. Need some more lines here, man. I'm still working on the technology. I don't know if this is the greatest microphone. It's funny because this is the page I'm starting with on this stream. I don't think it's the most dramatic or interesting page in the whole thing here, but that's not the point. The point of this, it's kind of like that lo-fi beats thing, you know, where it's like, you know, what if you went to a cafe, or what if you had a friend or an acquaintance who could just sort of, you could sit and work together. Of course, I keep blabbing, but you turn down the volume if you don't want that. And if you do want that, then good, because I'm going to keep doing it. I always have like at least 3 or 4 projects going at the same time. This one is pretty important to keep moving on, actually, not just because I think I'm more than halfway through with it, but because I actually have someone who I think wants to publish it. Can't say too much more about that, but yeah, not going to get it published if I don't get it finished, right? So what was I wearing in the last scene? I do wonder if there's a way that I can change the contrast of this image so you can see it a little better. Let's see. Maybe I can. Filters. Let's see. Can I do color correction? Oh, look at that. I can increase the contrast. I could decrease the contrast. That might be better. Make it a little less bright. Hey, look at that. That's a little better, huh? All right. All right. One of the advantages of doing all of the penciling and inking myself is I can be a lot sort of less detailed with the penciling. If I were collaborating with a different artist, me penciling, the other person inking, I'd have to put in a lot more information so that they would understand what I'm going for. But it's just me, so I can do whatever I want. Unfortunately, that means that I have to do everything. I don't know. I always, man, I am screwing up with these feet here. I always feel like if there's one part of this you don't like if you don't like lettering, maybe you don't really like drawing comics. But sometimes one part or another really gets tedious for me. So I guess I need to listen to my own words, huh? See, this is one of the disadvantages that I was talking about with the other format, that it's hard to get detail in. Okay. How can I simplify these shrubs and trees? How can I make them friendlier? I want my style to be like friendly and not over stuffy and overworked. And I feel like some of what's going on in this picture is just so fussy, you know. Oh my god, look what that contrast does to my hand. That is too messed up. Okay. So, we're gonna put my skin tone in here, figure that out. Okay. Oh, maybe if I desaturate a little bit. How's that? Like, it's not ideal, is it? It's pretty hard to see what's going on the page. Well, again, this is my first time doing this, so I'm sure that I will figure out how to iron out these technical glitches. Let's see, what if I do this? So this can be black and this can be black. That cuts it down to a smaller number of layers. And then this can be like this. Put some grass down there. I should actually move this over so it's not right on his head. There we go. Blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, something like that. We're going to get there, I swear it. The Bench of Doom. I wish I could remember. There was I was mentioning this during another video. A comic artist, it might have been Sherry Flanagan or somebody actually, mentioning that the you draw a line from the center of the speech bubble to the mouth, and that's how you get the little tail there. And I think it was an article in the Comics Journal from way back. Jeez. Such a tiny change in a line can just make a whole facial expression wrong. Okay. There we go. You know, just trying to get these people on the page, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, this is just a horror show. Moderately less terrible. What am I seeing? Oh, that's my other arm. Cool. Alright, let's do some lettering. Everybody hates lettering. I don't mind it that much. Well, let's also just maybe make these two panels look a little bit more similar. Gosh. Frickin' head size changing. You know, it's not a science. I have my computer where I'm monitoring this stream down, can you see my hand? Down there. I should put it up there, shouldn't I? That'd be better. Brand new pen. Nothing like it. So this page obviously is going to go up on my Patreon, but not until, I want to say, January. Right now I'm still farther back in the story than this. Okay, that doesn't look terrible. Could be a lot worse. Am I audible at least? I hope I'm audible. I hope I'm audible more than my creaky chair. I'm going to have to go back and watch this and catalog all the technological problems. Creaky chair. Bad lighting on the paper. What else? Microphone too low. Computer in the wrong place. If I were doing this right, I would break up these words onto two different lines, this last line here. But I'm not. I'm doing it the lazy way. Boop. Okay. I was gonna stream like video games or something. There are a couple of games I like playing. But man, I took a look at a couple of streams. These people playing video games. Man, they got it down to a science. They had couples playing Fortnite, and even like there are people playing those games and they're just sitting there looking so casual, and then like absolutely dominating the game, and then they've got interesting things to say at the same time. I was like, that is not my milieu. I gotta get out of the way. So I might still do it, but I think this is my niche, is just keep things moving on my comics projects and hope that there are people who want to just kind of come and chill out with me. Super mellow. Trying to find that beautiful line between mellow and boring. Or maybe boring is good. One of the things about streaming is if I'm drawing and not streaming, I'll take a break every few minutes and just like go goof around online or whatever. So this kind of keeps me honest, because I can't just disappear for 10 minutes. Oopsie. Alright, so now you get to see what happens when I make a mistake. Is I just go down to the margin and draw a little picture of it with a little kind of caret that points up. And then when I scan this into the computer, I go through and look for all those things and fix them. I used to do them totally IRL with like white paint. Man, the computer makes it easy. One moment, I will be right back. I promise I'm not going to go goof around online. I'm still here. All right. Very nice. All right. Okay, so let's see what we can knock out. This is the Pentel GFKP. I don't know what it stands for, but it's a pocket brush pen. It's refillable. And I think it outperforms pens that cost a lot more. And I don't know, brushes are such a pain, but there's no other way in the analog world to get this kind of line. I do actually, I do some drawing on the computer. I have a couple different tablets, and I like it, but I haven't been able to get this kind of layout to be easy for me on the tablets. And I know that there are programs that are designed specifically to do that. There's Medibang Paint, which is a weird name, but good program. I'm going to just say Fix Faces. There's MyPaint, which is kind of a boring name, but also a great program. Has some comic creating chops there. There's all kinds of stuff for the iPad, but I don't have an iPad. So there's Sketchbook by Autodesk, and then there's what's it called? Sketchable, which I like a lot. I don't see it a lot online. I have a copy of it running on one of my tablets, but when I go looking for it, it seems hard to find. So I don't know. I guess I've been just... Oh, that looks terrible. What the hell? gonna say I've been drawing in an analog way for so long it just feels more comfortable to me, and then I just completely botched that. So we're gonna be going in and fixing a lot of stuff here. Ugh, man. Whatever. How does it look for all of you out there in the studio audience? Could be worse. Could be worse. Interesting thing about inking is, especially if you pencil as vaguely as I do, is that inking is drawing, and I find myself actually making a lot of changes as I ink, which is a little bit scary because, of course, ink is ink, right? So once you start improvising, if you screw up, it's hard to fix. But, you know, on the other hand, like I said, I do fix a lot of stuff in the computer, so that gives me the freedom to not be too afraid, right? Oh my gosh. Oh, lame. It's fine. It's fine. It's such a small detail. And when this is printed, it's going to be, you know, 2/3 the size or something like that. So it's, you know, it's fine. It's fine. I'll fix it in post. It's fine. I just feel like, you know, there are some days where I'm drawing and it just flows so nicely, and it just feels like, oh my god, my pen is like a natural extension of my brain. And then there's some days where I'm like, what brain? Whatever. I did some drawing last week and early this week that I felt pretty good about. Move the mouth up just a little bit. See, it looks like a smile. Make mouth sad. Come on. Oh, I want to mention, as long as we're here, that if you want to see some of the comics that I draw in that small sort of daily journal comic format, the 4x6, you can see those at vidriocafe.com. It's just a simple old school website. All it does is show you comics in chronological order. There's no sign up, no nothing. I mean, I've got some links to like stuff you can order, but I think even those you kind of have to really be looking for them, you know. And then if you want to see the comics that I draw this size, I got a bunch of them at www.attemptednotknown.com. A lot of story comics there. And again, it lets you see all those comics for free. It is not the latest and greatest stuff. The absolute latest and greatest, obviously, is what you're watching me draw live right now. And the second latest and greatest from that is probably my Patreon. Patreon.com/stymied. That is STYMIED. And why, you might ask, do I have so many different names? Why don't I have one way that you can find all my stuff? And the answer to that question is I do not know. I don't know. I know how it happened. I have kind of started to consolidate things a little bit under the Vidrio Cafe moniker. But yeah, I don't know. Vidrio Cafe. Attempted not known. Stymied. See, this mouth is sad. I am looking. All right. This is going okay, I guess. Now that I'm done screwing things up here. I can get back on my feet down at this part. One of my fears when I started working on this graphic novel is that my drawing style would change from the beginning to the later pages, and I actually find that to be somewhat happening, but hopefully in a way that you don't notice unless you're like stuck as close to the project as I am, where I see every tiny little detail. But also I'm going back and not just cleaning it up in the computer, but redrawing some things if I don't like the way they look anymore. And then I'm also adding gray shading. And that is something that I also will be streaming, where I've got a page that's done being inked. I'll stream the process of actually adding the gray tone. I'm trying to think of where you can see an example of it. Yes, there is an example hidden somewhere on my Patreon. Yes, it is a paid post. So I'm not going to say go there. So I guess I should really stream that process a little bit so that you kind folks can see it without feeling like I'm pushing you to sign up for some other thing. I do have a day job, so I don't need to just like shill, you know. I want to make sure that that you know where to find my stuff, but I never want you to feel like I'm just sitting here begging. I used to try so hard to like tailor my work for, you know, eventually getting a comic strip picked up, or, you know, oh crap, or you know, working for one of the big comic book companies or whatever. And man, that was that didn't work out. And I gradually realized that if I want to draw stuff that's good, I should draw stuff that I like, you know? Draw stuff I think is good. Draw stuff I would read if someone else had drawn it. And so that's what I try to do. And it's hard. I don't... a lot of the stuff I draw I don't like at first. Some of it I don't like ever. But some of it, you know, I don't like it when I first draw it or I see all the mistakes, and then I come back to it after I've forgotten what all the mistakes looked like. And I go, whoa, hey, I don't hate this anymore. So yeah, there's some stuff that I've drawn that I'm pretty proud of. All right, see this this panel here is the one that made me procrastinate for so long about inking this page, because it's got all these trees and stuff in here. And I will just show you. It's very similar to this page here, see? And you see how these trees are kind of like vague, and you see how this one has like kind of a friendly, informal outline to it, and then this one's all scratchy and scrubby, and this one looks like some kind of a weird poodle. And then, you know, I feel like they're all in different styles, and I want to kind of get them all to be friends on the page, you know what I mean? And I've got so many scenes that happen in this setting, which is the Bench of Doom is what I call it. And I feel like all the scenes that I've drawn in this setting, like I've been struggling so much with the foliage. And actually, if I went and got one of the earlier, like this is like binder 3 of this book, right? If I went and got one of the earlier ones, you'd see I can do it. I can actually draw foliage okay, but the style has been drifting around. So all these different pages with foliage kind of, they all look different from each other. So I'm going to have a lot of stuff to go back and redraw. And I'm hoping each time I ink a scene in this same setting, I'm hoping I get a little bit better, so when I go back and redraw it, I have solutions to some of these visual problems. I mean, really, ideally, the reader would look at this page and go, oh gosh, that's beautiful. But failing that, I want the reader to look at the page and go, oh, 2 guys sitting on a bench and there's some trees, and they don't get distracted by how things were drawn. They just go, oh yeah, they're on the Bench of Doom again. And they don't go like, what? Is that what he thinks trees looks like? Man, that's awful. And I kind of, I fear that that is the territory that this page is in right now. I would love to know if any of you think that's true. All right. There is a comic artist by the name of Noah Van Sciver, who he does a lot of different things. He did a graphic novel about the Mormons most recently. He did a graphic novel about a fictional poet named Fante Bukowski. Anyway, he does really nice, informal, friendly, approachable foliage. So maybe I should just bite off his style, you know what I mean? See, here I am. I'm starting to do the same thing again. I do want light and shadow, you know? Oh, man. Well, we'll see. Hopefully I'm not ruining this too badly. And again, I'm going to get a chance to redraw it in the computer. Maybe between now and then I can actually learn how to do this. I'm so good with so many things. I can draw cars. You know, everybody hates drawing cars. I'm kind of okay with, like, I don't know, buildings. Buildings are fine. All right. Okay, this is gonna be all right. We are okay. It's so like stressful and dramatic for me to draw this particular page. I wonder if I can reshape this big shrub into something. I mean, look at this stupid lump. All right, how can I fix it? See, this is if I were working with a separate inker, there's no way that I could do it. There's no way you could change the whole shape of things in the middle, like re-pencil part of it. No. I guess I could actually go back and look at a photo of what this area really looked like and see what it is that I'm doing wrong with this shrub. It's so tempting to just remove it, but then I got to go back and remove it everywhere. Okay. I'm a very naive Twitch streamer. I don't even have like loot or rewards or anything like that. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I mean, sure. We can just do this way. Looks like Squidward's house. Oh, man. You know, I might just like ink it like that. Just leave it, and then that is not the worst version of this thing I've drawn in this whole time, so I'm gonna stop fooling around with it. And it's so funny. I used to be a stickler for like steel nib pens and real brushes, and now I use micron pens and brush pens and all this kind of stuff. And you know, it's because the you know, those real sable hair brushes and steel nib pens, they work great, but these brush pens and microns and things like that, they've gotten so good. All these tools, this is much better actually. And I remember a long time ago, probably in the 90s, watching a documentary about Scott Adams, and I kind of took an immediate dislike to him because they're showing him drawing his comics, and he's drawing with like a felt tip pen. I'm like, that's not how you get good drawing. And although I have to say I still have a dislike for things like his politics. I shouldn't have been so much of a snob about the materials. That's not why you dislike somebody. Because they use a felt tip pen. You know, the whole thing with drawing this monstrosity of a shrub, the number one thing that I have to accomplish is when you look at this page, you turn the page and then you get to this part of the book, it has to look like I did it on purpose. That's really the only criterion is you look at this page and you go, oh, yeah, he probably meant to do that. I bet that came out the way he wanted it to. That's it. That's the only thing I have to accomplish. All right. I'm going to just hint that there's something more to this tree. By the way, these X's, those of you who know already know, but those of you who don't, that indicates a place that's going to be filled in with black ink. And I no longer do it on the paper directly because it's just so much easier on the computer. Maybe I'll do this like this so that I can make this black. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I think we've salvaged the part of the page that really was threatening to be terrible. All right. Let's do some of these parts here. I don't feel this way about every page, by the way. There's some where I just like jump in and it feels awesome the whole time and I'm so pleased, and I walk away and I go like, yeah, I had a great day drawing today, man. And I come back and look at it again and again. I go, oh my gosh, I'm so awesome, you know. That really does happen once in a while. But this frickin' gosh darn rootin' tootin', this Bench of Doom scene here, man. And I got my two characters coming back here all the time because this is where they go to talk about all the things that are going wrong at work. And the whole story is about things going wrong at work. This is not, like, what kind of a story would it be if it's like, oh, I went to work and it's okay, I guess. So this is about, you know, it's not horrible. It's not like somebody dies or something like that. But there's like a slow burn of just things not being great. I don't want to give away too much. I do want you to be interested in reading this at some point. I want you to go like, oh, I wonder how that story turns out when it gets published or whatever, you know? Assuming you like reading comics. Not everybody does. But if you like reading comics, if you like reading independent slice of life comics that don't have any superheroes in them, that is mostly what I do. So I'm hoping that you will be interested in this one. Alright. As we've established before, I have screwed up several things on these two characters already, which I'm going to have to go back and fix. Oi. Alright. I mean, I could just say it's organic, right? Wow. Okay. I don't know if you can see them. Let's see. But yeah, you can kind of see these notes for what the page is going to be about. And the funny thing is that this page originally actually was going to be about something slightly different, which is why the notes are crossed out. Trying to figure out as I go what to include in this story. By the way, this is page like 170 something, so if you thought maybe this was early and I can get out, no, I am in this book now for good until I get out the other end. This is not like a project that I started recently that I can just give up on. At this point, I'm committed. I don't hate this. I don't hate this, the way this is looking. I don't know if I love it, but I don't hate it. I wonder if this is going to be one of these things that I look at later on and go, yeah, no, you should have hated it. Or if I would be easier on myself than that. So if you're enjoying this stream at all, and you want to know when I'm going to do the next one, I have to admit that unfortunately I don't yet have a set schedule. I'm just getting started at this Twitch thing, so I'm sort of learning as I go. But I am at Vidrio Cafe on Twitter, and I will let you know before I come back again, preferably with some notice. So you can follow me there, or you can just see if Twitch notifies you that I'm on. I'm hoping to do this fairly often because it keeps me drawing. Which is like, that's a huge benefit for me, you know. And hopefully I'll get better at this streaming thing so that the streams will just get better and better, you know. And if you hate this stream, then you gotta come back. Because, oh my god, can you imagine just like hate watching this stream forever and telling all your friends? That would be amazing. You have to check out this guy. He's such a jerk and a moron. His drawings are terrible. I don't even know why he takes himself so seriously. That would be amazing. And if you think this stream is just okay, then just put it on in the background, I guess. It's kind of like hanging out at a cafe while you do your own work, and then there's somebody at the next table who's just sort of like blabbing. Oh. Got a Skype notification. Technical difficulties. How do I want to handle this? There we go. Let's do that. So we're going to get this page actually done pretty soon. And I have not had dinner yet, so I might just have that be the end. But I will say that I very much enjoyed this process, getting to draw and feel like people are checking it out, and it makes it so I can't step away and take a long break and not get anything done. You've really helped me stay on task here. So thank you for that. So you know that I'll be back. And I actually have several projects going at the same time here. So there's this one. This is from my my graphic novel in progress called Move Fast And, which is about my time working at Facebook. Yeah, working at Facebook, and things didn't go well in a weird way. Can you imagine, things not going well? Strange, huh? And then I have a new graphic novel that I'm just starting to work on, and that one is so early that I could potentially abandon it. That one is probably going to be called The Amateurs, but I'm not sure. And it's about cancer. And then what else have I got? I have one about pizza that I kind of finished, and kind of was shopping it around to publishers to see if anybody wanted to pick it up. And I realized actually that there's a lot more content that it needed. It kind of, the way it is now, it reads sort of as a travel diary or a list of events, but there's actually sort of a lot more story there. So I'm going back and rewriting, redrawing, rearranging pages, and adding new content. And that one is drawn in this this much smaller 6x9 format. So each page is a little bit kind of less formal. Use this paper like that. That one also kind of doesn't have a title at the moment. I have one that I'm going to be doing some editing in the computer, which is Attempted Not Known number 12. So Attempted Not Known is partly a series of what I call comic objects, which I don't have one handy to show you yet. You'll have to come back. I'll show you. Comic objects are these comics that I did in strange formats. Like I did one that was a Rubik's Cube. I did one that looked like a pack of cigarettes. I did one that was a cassette. And Attempted Not Known number 12, tentatively titled Pain Points, is going to be... Oh, I don't even want to tell you this because it's so secret, but I will anyway. It's going to be in a prescription pill bottle. I can't believe I just unleashed that information. You've got to come back and watch me fix up the mistakes on those pages. I'm going to do that in the computer, so it's going to be a little bit different from this format, but still should be the same amount of fun. What else do I have going on? I have a couple of other projects that I swear, if Twitch streaming helps me actually make progress on them, That would be amazing. I have 2 more attempted not known comic objects that I'm trying to get going. One of them is called Transistor, and it's like a little portable AM/FM pocket radio, like old transistor radios that people used to have back in the day. And then I have one called 126, which is about like an old disposable, not disposable, but an old cheap film camera. Tons of stuff in the works. I swear. And I would love to share it with you. Like I said, you really help keep me honest, keep me drawing, keep me on the page. So I'm going to try to stream as often as I can, and I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for joining me, for helping me get through this, for suffering with me on this stupid shrub. And that's it. I'll see you soon, I hope. Catch me on Twitter at Vidrio Cafe. And, of course, come back here when you get that notification. Like, smash, follow, all that good stuff. I don't even know. But I'll see you again. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Commander Root, Roxasy.